At the end of the day, we went down there 2 times and ended up with 0 points, and that's how you lose a game.
So I'm going to give commentary on not just the Ryan Day press conference from directly after the Indiana game, but also the one after finding out kind of where Ohio State sits in regards to the playoff stuff. And some of these quotes are from that one. Just wanted to get them out there, just because obviously it's the hot discussion point. Ohio State fell for the first time in the Big Ten. Blah blah blah. Day said that Brian Hartline will remain Ohio State's play caller for the College Football Playoff, and review the shortcomings of what he saw from his offensive situational football. Obviously, we're going to do a full react video. But Day said that Brian Hartline is going to remain in his current role through the College Football Playoff. Met about it today, and he's going to continue with the same plan. I do think having 3 or 4 weeks to plan for the game will be beneficial. I agree. I think Ryan Day in that setting is electric and fantastic. Now, that happened, and that was from 11 Warriors, and that was from Ryan Day himself. And you've got this from J.R. Rhodes. Brian Hartline may no longer be with Ohio State through the College Football Playoffs. I'm told this is not a final decision, and that the result of the Indiana game has no impact on that decision. It is funny. He did add to it. Ryan Day said in his press conference that Brian Hartline will continue through the same role for the rest of the playoffs, but they will evaluate how things are going with Hartline, splitting time between USF and Ohio State each week. Obviously, this is out there.
How are we doing?
And this was expected. This video was always going to happen. Kind of in the ethos. And I make it big. Yeah,
Nation, how we doing, guys? Really excited. Just jumped on the plane, getting ready to head south. Cannot wait to be around you guys. Cannot wait to continue to build. USF's about to explode. I can't wait for it to happen. See you guys soon, and go Bulls.
Private jet. The green suit looks really good. Go Bulls. It's almost like go Bucks. So this has a lot of people kind of up in arms. There's other good fans, obviously, like the congratulations coach will miss you, like all these dumb, like whatever. And here we go. Dude cost Ohio State a Big Ten title, now smiling on a private jet less than 24 hours is nasty work. Someone, you can stay down there. Good luck, coach. I appreciate all that you've done. Blah, blah, blah. At this point, I think it's best you just focus on your new job. Yeah, he's checked out. Play call sheet goes to Day for the playoffs, which I think is actually better. I think Ryan Day calling plays in the playoffs is better for Ohio State. Get ready for a fuck ton of tight ends inside the 10 for no reason. I just heard the kicker was joining you, but he missed the flight. Yeah, there we go. Lunatic fans. It is funny because Ohio State will turn on you so quickly, and one loss in a year, and these comments are pretty are just pretty toxic. So it is kind of a fascinating sub story. It's like Ohio State heads into the playoffs. I do think Ryan Day taking the sticks in the postseason helps. I think that him kind of stepping on the gas as long as he does is really important. And I do, I don't know what the play calling split was this year, and I don't know if we'll ever actually know really what it is. Then you got this from Message Board Geniuses. This is when they were down by 3. Tell Hartline, let me make myself smaller. Tell Hartline he can head to USF from Indy. We'll pack his bags for him. Fucking Fielding, please kick him off the team. Let Hartline walk tonight. And then, poof. Just dramatics. But I do want to get into the video, though, that I recorded. And I'll have more commentary on this. Some Notre Dame commentary, some Indiana commentary, some Georgia commentary, and some Bama commentary this week. So make sure you hit the like and sub button because we'll be cranking out a lot of content. Ohio State lost to Indy in a game that I did not think was coached that well. I think Cignetti definitely outcoached Ryan Day, and I do want to listen to what Ryan Day had to say after the game.
Very disappointed, just overall with how we played. Didn't play very well in the situations. Third downs were not very good. Not very good in the red zone, obviously, at the end. So, very disappointed.
I mean, all game, right? Like, red zone's been like a major issue for this team all season. It's like been the red zone monster, and it's like the big question, like that I think everyone wants answered is like, who was more responsible for things? Is it like a Brian Hartline thing, or is this a Ryan Day thing?
Pointed. I thought Indiana played really well, did a great job, but just obviously, we're all disappointed in the locker room that we didn't finish out this regular season the way we wanted to.
Please raise your hand. We will bring a microphone to you for questions. Go here in the front. I've got Mike. Okay, right here. State your name and affiliation.
Yeah, Steve Hellwagon with Bucknuts 24/7 Sports. So, Coach, your team's allowed 6 sacks the entire season, and in the first 2.5 quarters, Indiana had 5 of them. Just what were they? I know they're a great defense, obviously, looking at their numbers, but what were in particular that just made this a miserable night for the offensive line?
Yeah, they obviously brought different pressures and twists, and but that was something that they had done all season. They're very good at it. We didn't handle it very well at all. So there were times we did, but we weren't consistent enough. And this is a major lesson for this team is that it can come down to 1 play or 2 plays or 3 plays that decide a game like this. And so this is a tough lesson to learn. But we have to be more efficient across the board. It can't just be us doing our job once or twice, or 3 times.
It can't just be us relying on Jeremiah Smith to get the whole offense going is what kind of the direction I thought of that question was going.
I mean, it's going to be every single time, and that didn't happen. And that starts with the coaching and then goes from there.
Hey guys, make sure you like and sub while you're here. It helps the channel grow. We are on the road to 10K. Thank you for 7,700. Our goal this week is to get to 8K, and we do that with you guys.
Let's go here on the right, name and affiliation.
Yeah, Jake Trotter from ESPN. Ryan, could you go through the thinking, the decision making, and then the execution on the on the 2 red zones where you had 3rd and 1?
I wonder how many questions Julian's going to get here.
And didn't come up with any points.
Yeah, on the first one, we tried to sprint out to Jeremiah. It didn't work, and then we tried to sneak there that looked like we had. I guess they said that his knee was down and was short, so that was that one. And then on the next one, we tried to roll out on the 3rd one, and it was batted down. And then felt like at that point, let's just get the 3 points and get the defense back on the field and see if we can play for another possession, get a stop, and get the ball back, kick a field goal to win the game. But we didn't execute that. So yeah. At the end of the day, we went down there 2 times and ended up with 0 points, and that's how you lose a game.
That was kind of like the point of the game, right? Like for Ohio State, like you have to feel good knowing that there's not going to be a ton of games. You hope if you do clear up your red zone stuff that you go down there twice and walk away with 0 points. That probably will not happen. But on the flip side, you have to kind of face that problem head on. I don't really love a lot of the Ryan Day answers. I think he kind of coach speaks and kind of skirts around it, but the game plan down there just hasn't worked this year, and we need it to work. And so for the postseason, this can't happen again. And we now know what a Ryan Day postseason loss looks like. So, I mean, it's funny though. The red zone things have always been a concern. I mean, even in 2019 when they lost to Clemson, that was one of the things that happened. They couldn't score down the red zone. So I'm hoping for kind of more clarity on that moving forward. And now that it was talked about as a problem before, now it's an unavoidable problem that you have to face head on because you did lose the game. So I don't know. So, just kind of thinking and working through this one, but kudos to Indiana. They got to feel really good. They just continue to win close game after close game. Indiana's so battle tested. I mean, they beat, a top 3 team in the country to me in Oregon. They beat Ohio State. They are a good football team. They're used to playing in some of these tight games, and their defense has done enough. And their offense, even on not their best days, were able to beat Ohio State. So that 13-3 score just haunts me though.
We'll go here on the left, and then we'll come up to the front.
With Joey Coffin, Columbus Dispatch, on the went for it on 4th and the kick, how much the fact that you guys have struggled in some of the sneaks last week in the rivalry game in Michigan, the sneak was short and this sneak was short as well. How did that maybe influence the thinking there?
Well, for the most part, our sneaks have been pretty good this year. How many have we not got this year?
Just 2.
Yeah. It's been pretty good for us, and we felt like we've been pretty good at it.
Just 2. It's funny, people wonder hey, we've got Lincoln Keenholz, why don't we use him more in some of these I guess sneak moments? But I understand it both ways. I guess for me, the bigger frustration point, and I hope somebody asks, is what's up with all the 13 and 12 personnel? Why why do we have so many tight ends out there? Should be the thing. When it's wide receiver, Brian Hartline's got the best unit in America, and this is where I get really confused. Is it Brian calling plays or is it Ryan calling plays? Because it's hard for me to believe that if a wide receiver coach is calling plays, he's going to have his guys off the field way more than he's going to have them on. That's in Indiana, they didn't try to go heavy. Their OC's was a receiver coach. They spread it out. They took shots and moments that felt okay, oh look, I can tell that's a receiver coach calling plays.
But we didn't execute it, in this one. So, we'll have to, figure out if that's the right thing to do moving forward and try to put our guys in the best position to be successful.
Here in front.
Ryan, Stefan Kreischick with Cleveland.com. You guys have stressed routine so much all year, right? Moving things around to make sure you stick to routine. I know you don't want to make excuses, but how tough was this week? Obviously, there was a million things you guys had to balance. Just did
I need Doug Lamarice to save the day, dude. Like, I need a Doug Lamarice, like, why are we going heavy? And, like, is it predictable? Like, I need someone to bring up the numbers. Hey, when you guys have had 3 or more tight ends on the field or whatever, like, this is the run-pass split, and you guys have, your success rate's been low. Because it feels like it has just, like, off watch. I need a Doug Lamarice save the day.
feel like it threw off the routine? Do you feel like it impacted what happened today at all?
Well, I would just say that, it was the same for both teams. So at the end of the day, that's our job, to come out here and, execute and win games. So, we're not going to make any excuses about any of this. We wanted to win this game. The guys had a good week of practice. But at the end of the day, we came up short. So we got to get back and figure out, why that happened, what the issues were, and, get it fixed. Because, the season's not over. Got a lot of football ahead of us. And hopefully we can use this as a way to get better as we head into the playoffs.
Let's go here in the front, and then we'll go to that side.
Yeah, Austin Ward, 97.1 The Fan. Ryan, with everything that was going on with Brian this week and going to USF, did anything change at all in the way you guys game planned or called plays tonight from the rest of the season?
I'm not going to get into too many details on it all. I think Brian is doing everything he possibly can to finish his time here the right way, and I appreciate that. And so we're all involved with it, and we're all doing everything we can to make sure that we put the guys in the right situation to be successful. We got a bunch of guys in that room, and we'll make sure as we head into the next few weeks that we're on point. We're doing our part.
We have one over here to the right.
So, I guess like peel back the curtain a little bit. Like I talked to a good amount of people. I'm not saying I have the perfect sources, but I got pretty decent sources, and like I keep getting told from people from all angles that Brian Hartline is not really calling near the amount of offense as it's kind of being led to believe. I keep getting told that over and over and over again. I don't know how true it is. Haven't been able to verify it. Don't know if I'll ever be able to verify it. But I float that out there because I sometimes operate in this like from the standpoint of like, okay, like who is calling the plays, and like is Ryan Day going to take blame for maybe some of the play calling stuff or not?
Bowden Jerome, Lounge Sports Network. Coach Day, after missing the game-tying field goal, do you regret going for it on 4th and 2 at the end of the third quarter?
I mean, when it doesn't work, I always regret it. So that's how it works. When it works, it's good. When it doesn't, then you want to take it back. So that's how life works. At the end of the day, we got to make decisions in real time that we think of our guys.
I just need one of you guys to ask a question about the personnel packages in the red zone, because that's when the offense gets so vanilla and so stale, and it's not working.
It's the best position to be successful and practice it enough to execute it. And when it doesn't, then certainly we got to deal with what comes with that, and that's my responsibility. So at the end of the day, I got to make sure that we're putting our guys in the right situation to be successful.
Let's go here in the front.
Bill Rabinowitz, Substack. Ryan, the offensive line had been playing much better tonight.
Bill Rabinowitz, kicked my ass. Substack. He said, I work for me. I'm my own boss.
It had its troubles. Can you pinpoint why it struggled so much, especially in protect tonight? Bill Rabinowitz, Substack. Ryan, the offensive line had been playing much better tonight. It had its troubles. Can you pinpoint why it struggled so much, especially in protecting Julian?
I'm going to have to really, get on the film and figure out where most of the breakdowns were. I think there was some good play, but not good enough against the good defense. They've done a nice job all year. Continue to do a nice job. I think they were averaging 10 points going into the game and held us at 10 points. So you got to give them credit. But yeah, we'll get back to it and figure out what that was.
Really impressive. I believe Ohio State and they sacked Ohio State and Oregon, I think each at least 5 times, which is electric.
And what wwe're coming up short. And usually when that happens, it's everybody. It's not just one person or one thing. But it wasn't good enough. That's for sure.
Let's go here in the front, and then we'll go to the back left.
Jack the Wick with the Lantern. Ryan, it obviously wasn't the result you wanted, but Caden was all over the field today, was making plays outside the stat sheet. What did you see out of him, and how important was he today?
Well, I thought the guys played really, really hard, and certainly Caden led the way. 3 TFLs, but he's been like that all year, and that's who he is and the player he's become. And so I thought the defense was gritty tonight, played hard. and gave us a chance to win, and he was a big part of that.
We'll go here in the back corner.
Ryan, Cameron Teague with The Athletic. Obviously, some of the red zone stuff has worked for you guys. Some of the stuff you guys ran today has worked this year. Obviously, Indiana's a really good red zone defense, but just what did you see in the red zone? And when you inside the 10 twice and you get 0 points, as a play caller, do you start to second guess or change things that maybe didn't work the previous time? And do you feel like that thing leads to overthinking it all?
Well, when you get in the red zone, you got to get positive yards, and you have to. We had a couple drives that started right around the 10-yard line, and when that happens, I mean, you got to get 3 and 4 yards, or else you can find yourself behind the sticks, real quick. And that didn't happen. And then the passes that we threw, on those first and second downs, weren't successful enough. We tried a couple of things that, didn't work out. So, we got to make sure that they're the right plays and that we're executing them well enough and that we're practicing them well enough. All the things that come with it. So,
I need somebody to ask about the fucking personnel packages.
We spend an inordinate amount of time to try to figure out what is the best scheme that fits what you're going to see in the game. And then we go from there. So, we're all involved with it, and we all got to own it.
Julian, can you comment on the team's fortunes tonight in the red zone?
Yeah, we got to do better execution-wise. Starts with me up, and we'll go from there. No, I just got to be able to.
He's about to say starts with me up front, I think is what he wanted to say. But, obviously, the up front guys, it starts with me first. It starts with me up front. It starts with me and the guys up front. Obviously, talking about the O-line.
Yeah, we got to do better execution-wise. Starts with me up, and we'll go from there. No, I just got to be able to, when we get down there, just put points on the board, because as a quarterback, ultimately you're judged on, how the offense does and when we score points or not. So I got to do a little bit better down there in the red zone and make sure we end up with points, especially on that quarterback sneak. Fourth down, we got to end up with the first down there.
Let's go back.
He is horrible at quarterback sneaks. He just gets way too low and almost tackles himself. And if he tries to fold in instead of just following and keep your feet. The most important thing is keep your feet as long as possible in these quarterback sneaks and keep your feet surging forward. You don't want to overly surge forward. In fact, dude, when I watch some quarterbacks, sometimes they stand up at the quarterback sneak, let the pile happen, and then try to get on top to reach over. But that's more of a goal line thing.
Corner, and then here to the middle.
Yeah, Ryan. Rob Aller, Columbus Dispatch. Last year you had that loss at Michigan and kind of regrouped, gave you a chance to kind of re-examine. Do you try to revisit that? Anything that you learned from that moving forward?
I think every year is different. Every group's different, but
I was going to say, that one wasn't revisited because of Ryan Day. That one was revisited because the players were sick of the shit.
Yeah, I mean, there's going to be, a lot of hard conversation here over the next couple of weeks for sure. This is not going to sit well with anybody. It's going to sting. And, we can't let this game beat us twice, but we can't.
It's like these players, I would imagine, kind of go to Ryan Day, hey, look, you did the same shit to us again. We don't know who called plays, but it's the same shit. We have the 2 of the 5 best receivers in America, likely number 1 and number 2, and yet we're going down in the red zone where we're having struggles and we're taking one of those 2 guys off the field over and over and over again. It's got to be an insanely bothersome thing.
And use it as an opportunity to get better and grow from. But that's only going to happen if we get to work and do it. It isn't just magically going to happen. So, when you lose a game, it hurts, it stings. That's one of the things that we've talked about all year is, let's not wait for a loss to have great urgency. Let's not wait for a setback to motivate us more. Let's continue to fight every day to make sure that we're on top of all of that. But the truth is that, with this group,
The truth is there were 2 things that, they didn't have urgency about. It's the fixing the red zone stuff and, getting rid of that conservative nature, and then also, the right guard stuff. And, for me, at least, it's Ryan Day told us that he would turn up the gas when it was time to. It's dog, this was the time to turn up the gas. We're in Indy on the fast track. It is time to turn up the gas. In fact, I made fun of Tyler for a week ago for saying that, he could see us starting slow. I thought there was no way we would start slow. We did it. We made it through the regular season and kept our best players healthy. Now is when you press on it and coach like there is no tomorrow. I thought we were going to get the Tennessee version of the game, because Ohio State does have blowout potential with everyone they play when they do step on the gas.
I think that this is going to make us more hungry because, this is a competitive group. So to walk off that field without a championship is going to hurt, and that's what we wanted to do. So there's a lot of guys in that locker room that are pissed off right now.
Let's do this right here, and then we'll take any questions for Julian Sand.
Yeah, I was going to ask you.
Tim May, Fan Stream Sports. Julian, on that third down play there before the missed field goal, what were sort of your options? Because obviously you were looking to the end zone all the way there, and just kind of take us through what your thoughts were on that particular play. Go ahead.
Yeah, I had a rollout with the running back in the flat, and I thought the defender was too close. He was covered, so I moved on to my next read, and tried to fit it in there, and they ended up batting it away. So we got to convert on that in 3rd and 1 and be able to keep the offense on the field.
Yeah, I don't think Julian could have done anything different on that play or a couple of those plays down there. I know maybe it wasn't perfect, but I thought Julian played well tonight. I thought he played hard. And was gritty and had some tough situations where he didn't make bad situations worse.
Yeah, stepping in to protect your quarterback there. That would have been a tight ball to Bo Jackson there. That would have been a tight ball.
Quite honestly.
Ryan, for you, 3rd downs were huge tonight for them. I mean, Mendoza hit a couple of huge passes there. Do you kind of give it up to the opposition a little bit?
Yeah, I mean, it depends on what you're seeing, but they certainly made. There were 6 of 13, and we were 4 of 12, and some of those were big plays in the game. So, so we can't let that happen, obviously, but they executed it, and that was part of the game, part of the story of the game.
Ryan, Doug Maurice, the Bill and Doug Show. How much did you consider on the 4th and 1 before the field goal, going for it, and how might that affect your decision making the rest of this season if you get in another spot like that?
Yeah, I mean, obviously when you miss the field goal, you're sick over it, and you just second guess yourself right from the jump. But I felt like that was a situation. I forget exactly how long the field goal was, but sort of a chip shot. Get the thing tied up and let's go. We were struggling down there in the red area, and let's get the thing tied up and see if we can get the ball back and go kick a field goal to win the game. When it doesn't work, you always got to look at it and second guess it for sure.
Questions for Julian? And then we'll continue with Coach Day right here for Julian.
Yeah, Julian, last year you guys ended the season with the 13-10 loss, came back, and were dominant the rest of the way. What's going to be the key bouncing back with the playoff in front of you and the opportunity to still win a national title?
Yeah, I think last year, me being a freshman, I just saw that group stick together, and the leadership in that group, and they were together, and that's gonna be a big part for us, is just sticking together and having each other's backs.
Anything else for Julian? Right here in the middle.
Julian, this was the 2nd straight game you had to bounce back from an early interception. Just what is it like for a quarterback to deal with something like that, and how did you think you handled it today?
Yeah, first off, can't turn the ball over, early in the game like that and put our defense in a bad spot and end up giving up points for that. And so, those points are on me. But, just battling adversity and, not letting it overtake your mind and just being able to move on to the next play.
It is funny because I do feel like Ryan Day tightened up a little bit after the Michigan interception that Julian threw, but Bo Jackson, ripping off long run after long run and then catching a ball in the flat and then ripping that off kind of gave Ryan Day a chance to relax. This game, the Indiana defense is significantly better, and so you didn't really get that long drive right afterwards to make Ryan Day feel good. And I think that feel good ebb and flow, something that doesn't really get talked about enough, but to me it was a clear factor in all of this.
We're going to let Julian go, unless you have. Yep. Okay.
Joey Kaufman, Columbus Dispatch. For Julian, there was a time in the first half, I think it was where your shoe came off on the sideline there. Did that, and then got some taped up, did that affect you at all later on, or what happened there?
No, just the shoe came off, so I got it taped up so it stayed on and made sure.
Thank you, Julian. Appreciate it. A couple more for Coach.
Is nobody going to ask about the heavy personnel packages in the red zone, or did I just miss it when I was looking down at my phone?
Go right here in the middle. Sorry, back corner and in the middle.
Hey, Ryan, I just want to ask about the right guard spot real quick. Gabe Van Sickle was in there late in the game. Was that just a matter of him being...
Is that my guy Dylan?
Your best option right guard? Was there anything wrong with Tegra? And I guess moving forward, what do you see at that right guard spot?
Well, we wanted to split the work up a little bit in this game and take some pressure off of both of those guys. So we felt like that was the right thing to do in this game, and we'll decide if that's the right thing to do moving forward.
Go right here.
Tony Gerdeman, Buckeye Huddle. Ryan, I'm sure you thought that holding Indiana to 13 points would have been enough for your offense. I guess your thoughts on the offense overall, and I don't know, disappointment, frustration. Where are you right now?
Well, just finishing off the drives obviously was huge, and really the story of the game. There were times we moved the ball well, we had some decent drives, but when you get into the red zone and you don't finish like that, then This is how you lose games. So, I mean, that to me is really the story of the game. And then on third downs, 4 of 12, just not good enough. Didn't really establish the run. They were playing a decent amount of coverage. So when they're playing that much coverage, you should be able to run the football consistently. When you're not, and you're not converting on third down, and you're not scoring in the red zone, that's the story of the game. And so, it's a tough lesson to learn, but it's got to get fixed fast.
So I'm disappointed. I wish I saw an answer somewhere on some of the heavy personnel packages. I think that's an important thing. But obviously, like, it's weird because like every Ryan Day loss feels the same, and this one kind of was no different than a lot of the other ones. But it kind of is what it is. And hopefully, obviously, this team bounces back. Hopefully, we get the playoff Ryan Day that we know that is deep down in there. And if we do, I think this team could go back to back. If not, this team could get bounced in the second round. Because I think Miami and A&M are both capable of scoring a bunch of points. Ohio's better than both those teams, but you got to let the guys be guys, and obviously that was not the case. So yeah. Make sure you like and sub, and I'll be back. Got a bunch of stuff coming out this week, and I appreciate you guys.